Good morning. Let me welcome all of us to your headquarters of the Houston branch of the NAACP. We're honored to have your presence here today, ladies and gentlemen of the press. We appreciate you being here to cover this very, very important announcement made by the Houston branch of the NAACP, as well as our partners and colleagues who will be introduced in just a few moments. My name is Bishop James Dixon. I serve as the president of the Houston branch of the NAACP, and humbled and honored to do so on behalf of all Houstonians today on behalf of justice. I want to share a statement with us today regarding the purpose of our press conference, and then we will have others to speak in concert as to why they're here representing their various organizations and constituencies in support of this statement. Uplift Harris is morally right. It should not then be politically wrong. The Houston branch of the NAACP and partners are proud today and passionate to announce our support for Uplift Harris. We are living in times of extreme financial crisis. The number of families that are poor are increasing, and the burden of poverty is a social crisis of epidemic proportion. For that reason, we're joined by the Houston Area Urban League, led by CEO Judson Robinson, the Greater Justice Coalition, Houston Justice Coalition, led by President Johnny Mata, LULAC, number 4967, led by Director Dr. Sergio Lira, at Houston Metropolitan Baptist Ministers Conference, led by Dr. Samuel Jackson Gilbert, Pure Justice, Sasha Leggett, and there are multiple representatives here on behalf of Pure Justice today. Mary Ramos, a social justice fighter in our community who is recovering from surgery and not present, but Worry Jontos is here as well as others. And of course, our state representative and chairman of the State Legislative Black Caucus, State Representative Ron Reynolds, is here today as well. We stand today 100% in favor of Uplift Harris and are advocating for the continuation of this very vital program and initiative. All of our organizations serve the population of those who are financially disadvantaged. We are very familiar with their dire circumstances and the ancillary struggles that these families are facing on a day-to-day basis in Houston and in Harris County. Therefore, we want to commend our county judge, Judge Lena Hidalgo, and all of the commissioners of Harris County who stand in support of Uplift Harris. We believe that this is a public policy that makes moral sense, and it makes sense from a humanitarian perspective, whether you're Democrat or Republican, black, white, or brown, or Asian, or others. We believe that this is one of the greatest demonstrations of human compassion coming from a public entity for some time. And therefore, we want to give them a hand, our county judge and the commissioners, for this kind of demonstration. Psalm 82 verse 3 says, "Defend the weak and the fatherless, and uphold the cause of the poor and the oppressed." We think that this is absolutely in alignment with what Uplift Harris is all about, defending the poor and the oppressed. And at such a time as this, we want to applaud public officials for rising to that level of moral responsibility on behalf of our disadvantaged and vulnerable citizens. Uplift Harris is vital for survival, and this is why. One, every family in Harris County deserves access to opportunities and resources that they need to prosper. But too many families, especially black and brown communities, are struggling to get by without a way to get ahead due to decades of neglect, discrimination, and unfair barriers to shared prosperity and opportunity. The pandemic, rising costs, and low wages have made it only harder for all people to thrive. People are stretching every dollar and still are unable to make ends meet. Our seniors are choosing between meals and medication. Low-wage workers are put in 40 or more hours of work per week and are still falling short of the ability to take care of their families and their children. With 1 out of 5 children growing up in poverty in Harris County, 1 in 5 children are growing up in poverty in Harris County. Parents are struggling with impossible choices while trying to take care of their children. Groceries or gas, phone bill or internet, school supplies or diapers. Invaluable time with your children are taking on a back-breaking second or third or sometimes even a 4th job. These are the difficult decisions that people who are living below the poverty line are having to make on a day-by-day and week-by-week basis. Rep. Reynolds, just today at my church, every Wednesday we have a food distribution program. We feed nearly 2,000 citizens in Harris County every Wednesday, supplying them with groceries in partnership with the Houston Area Food Bank and others. To see people in these dire situations, that week's long worth of groceries makes a difference in them being able to pay rent or buy medicine. This is a Texas crisis.
That's right.
It's a Houston crisis.
Yes.
It's a Harris County crisis. And for anyone, especially our state officials, to think that this program needs to be stopped and to file a lawsuit against the county in regards to it is absolutely objectionable. It is irreprehensible. It is unconscionable. And it is certainly not in keeping with the standards of high moral values, and it certainly does not reflect a Judeo-Christian ethos. We're saying today to our officials, let's rethink what we're doing and what we're saying to our most vulnerable citizens. Therefore, in finality, we urge these 3 actions. 1, we urge all Harris County officials to stand united in support of Uplift Harris, and that the courts will rule in favor to continue this vital program for survival. Secondly, we urge all state officials to reconsider their action against Uplift Harris and to do so with the end beneficiaries in mind. These are Texas, which means Governor Abbott, which means state officials, which means these are your constituents. We think about the county attorney filing this lawsuit. How would you look in the faces of the individuals who are already expecting to receive this small amount of support and say to them, we're going to take this spoon back out of your hand? How unconscionable is that as a practice and as a policy? Finally, we urgently urge all Harris County citizens, especially our faith leaders and our business leaders, to strongly advocate for Uplift Harris on behalf of our vulnerable families and citizens for whom this could mean survival. We're approaching another Houston hot summer. Air-conditioned bills are going up. Electricity bills will be on the rise. It's also hurricane season. We are putting people's lives at stake on behalf of politics. I don't believe that we would see this kind of action against this kind of program that will positively affect vulnerable citizens if the politics were different.
That's right. That's right.
I think if the politics were different, we'd be holding a press conference with all of our officials and everyone standing together saying what a moral high ground we're taking to uplift and to defend the poor and the vulnerable among us. So I would ask you to take off your political glasses.
Right.
Look through the lenses of the biblical text and good moral judgment and consciousness, and say as a human being, we have the responsibility and with Uplift Harris, the opportunity to prove that all people are made in the image and likeness of God, and we're all God's children, and we're all responsible for one another. To that end, we urge action now to defend the poor by supporting Uplift Harris. If it's morally right, how could it be politically wrong? Thank you. We want to have at this time a few speakers who will come. We will have Ms. Camilla Walker from the Urban League, followed by Selena Bray, as well as Mr. Eric Lee, and then we'll bring Sergio Lira of LULAC and Representative Ron Reynolds, who is with, of course, the Legislative Black Caucus, at this time in that order.
Thank you so much, Pastor. On behalf of Judson Robinson III, we wish to share this message. As an organization dedicated to the advancing and empowering all Houstonians, the Houston Area Urban League unequivocally supports Harris County's innovative approach to addressing economic disparities through programs such as Uplift Harris. It is imperative that our state leaders acknowledge the crucial significance of initiatives like Uplift Harris, rather than dismissing them outright. These initiatives play a pivotal role in ensuring that all Texans have the opportunity to achieve financial stability and security. It is particularly insensitive to withdraw support from those who are in need and who have applied and have been approved for assistance sanctioned by the Commissioner's Court, especially amidst the challenges posed by inflation. In the words of the late Houston broadcasting legend Marvin Zindler, it is hell to be poor. Hall remains unwavering in its commitment to advocating for policies and organizations that promote livable wages, equitable conditions, and a more empowered future for all Texans. We urge the state to prioritize the welfare of its residents over political maneuvering. Victory over violence. Thank you.
My name is Selena Bray Bowles, and I work at Pure Justice, a community membership-based organization helping community members living on the margin. Pure Justice supports Uplift Harris because we see firsthand every day community members doing everything they can to make ends meet, but simply can't. And programs like Uplift Harris will provide the assistance they need that help to avoid a complete financial crisis, the devastating cycle of poverty, and give them a chance to get ahead, even if it's just a little. We canvassed eligible communities to inform them about the program, and hundreds of community members were happy Harris County decision makers created such a program because they desperately need it, even though there was a possibility they wouldn't even be selected. Guaranteed income programs are important because they provide financial stability to individuals or families, especially during times of economic uncertainty or when facing unexpected hardships. They can help alleviate poverty, reduce inequality, and provide people with the means to meet their basic needs, ultimately fostering a more resilient and equitable society for all of us. In the wealthiest country on the planet, I am truly disheartened that our Attorney General would fight such a program when social safety net programs have been around in this country since before he's been alive. Some might say he and his ancestors benefited from arguably the most impactful social safety net in the history, chattel slavery, but we don't see him rushing to argue for reparations. We are asking and urging Harris County community commissioners to continue this program and fight this lawsuit vigorously because the community supports you and needs it desperately. Thank you.
Very good. Eric Lee.
Oh, Eric.
Eric. I'm sorry, Eugene, I'm sorry. Eugene Lee.
Sorry, not my reading glasses. So, my name is Eugene Lee. I'm with OCA Greater Houston. We're an Asian American Pacific Islander advocacy and civil rights organizations, and we aspire to be, in a way, the Asian American Pacific Islander version of the NAACP. This pilot program helps the poorest of the poor in the Greater Houston area who are impacted by the pandemic. It's the first step towards universal basic income to combat income inequality and combat a tax system stacked in favor of the rich. We should all want a society where we care for the least fortunate.
Yeah. Very good. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Dr. Sergio Lira. I'm the president of Greater Houston LULAC, 4967. You know, I just want to say a couple of words. Poverty does not discriminate.
Right.
Whether you're undocumented, legal resident, or U.S. citizen, poverty is real. Yesterday, my wife, with a group of women, spent all day making food plates, raising money, starting a raffle to help single mothers who speak Spanish pay their electric bill. Remember, Reliant Energy does not forgive. If you miss that payment, they'll cut your services tomorrow. Also remember that Houston was built and is built on swampland. It's very hot and humid. We must have AC to survive.
Sure.
Mosquito infested. We know hurricane season is around the corner, and a lot of poor folks are going to be impacted. So we stand proudly with Harris County to support Uplift Houston. But let me just ask you one thing, and I ask my colleagues here. Is it okay to bail out the wealthy with PPA loans?
No.
Is it okay to give the wealthy tax abatements?
No.
Is it okay with the governor's voucher plan to take away money from poor public schools for private citizens to get a discount with their voucher plan? Is that okay?
No.
Is it okay to be anti-poverty?
No.
What I'm asking everyone is that, have we lost those who oppose Uplift Harris County? Have you lost compassion for the poor? And I finally state, from the good Lord and our Savior, that is written in the good book, Bishop Dixon, you've probably said it a million times, but I'll say it again.
Please, sir.
What you do amongst the least of us,
yes.
you do unto me.
Yes.
So those politicians who would oppose this, remember that.
Yes.
Please do the right thing and not what's politically your decision. Thank you.
Thank you.
Wow, how do you follow that? I'm Representative Ron Reynolds, Chair of the Texas Legislative Black Caucus, and I'm proud to stand here with so many of our diverse citizens, leaders in Houston, in proud support of Uplift Harris. And Bishop, in the scripture, it teaches us in Proverbs 31:8-9 to speak out for the one who could not speak, for the rights of those who are doomed. Speak out, judge fairly, and defend the rights of oppressed and needy people.
Yes.
I have many of my colleagues in the legislature and in state government that are proud Christian conservatives, but they go against all of the principles, Bishop, that you just articulated. What are we doing for the least of them?
Yeah.
I see time after time Governor Abbott and, unfortunately, my Republican colleagues in charge cater to the wealthiest top 3% with corporate tax breaks, corporate loopholes, incentives for the wealthy, the well-off, and the well-to-do. And here we have a great program right here in Harris County that doesn't raise taxpayers' dollars,
Right.
that benefits the vulnerable citizens of this state that happen to reside in Harris County.
Yes.
Let's be real about it, Bishop.
Yes.
Many of these citizens happen to be black and brown. What kind of message is this state sending to the minorities in this community that they don't belong, that they don't
Right.
care about them?
No value.
You're right. If this was for the wealthy, they would have a press conference applauding it. But yet, is for many of the vulnerable citizens of this community, and yet they fight it with everything they have. Shameful that Attorney General Paxton is filing a lawsuit to stop this from happening. It's shameful that Governor Abbott is co-signing this. This goes against everything that they used to stand for, called local control. Let the locals decide what's best for the local community. I applaud Judge Lena Hidalgo, Commissioner Ellis, Commissioner Garcia, Commissioner Briones, who supported this initiatives for the citizens of this community that desperately need it.
Right.
We might not be in this situation, Bishop Dixon, and pure justice if the state of Texas had a livable wage, but we're one of the few states that still pay our citizens $7.25 an hour.
Right.
$7.25. We're one of the 10 states now that don't have Medicaid expansion, so we lead the nation with the highest number of uninsured. And you're right, Bishop, these citizens are having to choose between going to the doctor or keeping their lights on, paying a medical bill or putting food on the table. This is a great program to help empower people and lift them up. So I stand in solidarity. We stand in solidarity, and we're asking for the faith-based community, as Bishop said, the charge, the business community, to join us, to be on the right side of history, to speak truth to power and denounce this injustice. We want for the state of Texas to withdraw this lawsuit immediately.
Yes.
I mean, to withdraw this opposition. We want that to happen. And I want to finally say thank you to Harris County Attorney Christian Menifee and all of the commissioners that are fighting back. We will not be silenced. We will not allow the governor and the lieutenant governor, the speaker, or whoever else they may be to continue to trounce upon our poor and vulnerable communities.
Right.
We need resources. We have too much income inequality. We have the summer coming with immense heat, and we will not allow people to die because they don't have the resources to keep their lights on. So thank you, Bishop Dixon, and thank you, everyone. God bless you.
Thank you, Representative Reynolds. Let me just say this and now open for questions. Last summer was not long enough ago for me to have forgotten the news reports on people dying in their homes.
That's right.
Because of heat.
That's right.
We watched that happen over and over again in Harris County. People being found dead, the elderly being found dead in their homes.
That's right.
Because of heat. No AC. Because poverty is vicious. I want to say to those who decide to remain opposed to Uplift Harris that if and when we have those reports this summer, remember the blood of those people would be on your hands.
That's right.
Texas is the second richest state in the nation.
That's right.
Second only to California. How is it that in a rich state like Texas, we will oppose a program? This Uplift Harris is not going to cause anyone to become rich.
No.
No one's going to be able to go buy a new home, buy a boat, go fishing, take a vacation across the country because Uplift Harris is in place.
That's right.
What's hypocritical and hypocritically ironic is that the people who are opposing Uplift Harris have all of those accoutrements I just mentioned.
That's right. That's right.
Vacation homes, boats, yachts, planes, access to vacation in cool places when it's summer. How do we come to a conclusion to where we're so politically jaded that we would rather see people suffer just to make sure we make a political statement at such a time as this? We will not be silent, but not only will we be voiceful, we will be visible, because God is on the side of the poor and the oppressed.
That's right.
And a state that's against them cannot prosper. Let's do the right thing. Thank you very much.
Absolutely.
Are there questions from ladies and gentlemen of the press? If there are no questions, let me thank all of us for coming. We appreciate the partners who are standing with us, and there are hundreds and yet thousands more who would stand not just at a press conference, but in the streets to make sure that we speak loud and boldly on behalf of those who cannot speak for themselves.
That's right.
May God bless you, and thank you again, Judge Hidalgo, and to all of our county commissioners, Ellis, to Commissioner Briones and Garcia, and we're urging our friend Tom Ramsey, all of you,
That's
please
right. That's right.
stand strong
That's right.
on behalf of Uplift Harris. God bless.